This is titled Sweatin' to Vivian Campbell and Gross. There was part of a solo from Vivian Campbell from Invisible that you wanted. I almost forgot, and it was in our Facebook conversation. So I did standard tuning for this, and you wanted the part of the solo at 306, and this is in E minor. Vivian Campbell, man, can't say enough great about him, particularly for me, the Dio years with Vivian Campbell. Just some great chops. You can hear the Gary Moore influence and all that good stuff. Now, this one, it's kind of tough to keep rolling. You're going to want to warm up a little bit, because once you get the 4-note concept I'm going to show you and the picking to it, which you can mess around with the picking. This is how I think he's doing it, but there are a couple of different options. But I'm going 12B, hammer 15, pull off to 12, but I'm starting out with an upstroke. And then I'm going 15G down. That's the 4-note concept. Now when you place your index, place it where you're kind of muting underneath the G there, because when you come off the 15G, you don't want this. So that'll mute that out, because we got to remove that middle finger. And that's another thing too, is you could experiment with and using the third finger for all of it, but you'll probably end up liking third and second. But you got to get them in and out, to where they're not stumbling over each other. So that's the concept. If you got that, then we're just gonna roll with that concept. He moves it back a half step, does the same thing. 11, 14, 11 to 14G. And he makes a loop out of that. That goes 3 times. Then he goes back, starts it over, but he does the reverse. He'll go a half step higher. 12, 15, 12, 15 to 13, 16, 13, 16. And our last note is on the G string through here. And that's a 3-time loop. So you got one going back 3 times, one going up 3 times. Okay, so from there I kept going with it. 14, 17, 14. Same thing though, you'll end on the 17G, then move it back to 13, 16, 13, back to 14, 17, 14, and then this time move it up to 15, 18, 15. So that one's a little different. It's like here, back to the start, and then up 1. See what's happening there? So your root, and those are our ups. Okay, it's easy to get lost on the tabs here. Our high point was 15, 18. Okay, then back to 14, 17, 14. Yeah. Back to 15, 18. Up to 16, 19, 16. Back to 15, 18, 15. So that pattern is going to go. Wait, let me find my start point here. 15, 18, 15. So we're going to 14, 17 to 15 to 16 to 15 for our root. So see what's happening there? So you start, move it a half step up, move it a half step up, move it a half step back. It's a cool sounding riff, man. You just gotta get used to it, and probably in one spot. Okay, so 14, 15, 16, 15, 16, 19, 16 to 17, 20, 17. That's how we'll end it. So we're gonna go. And just kind of glide that index, and make sure you're feeling underneath the G string there. So all based off of, So anyways, that's the invincible one you wanted, which is killer. Number 2, this is in F sharp minor. I was just thinking Vivian with his choppy kind of style, throwing in palm muting here and there. Unison bend, 14E, 17B. You've done these. We're gonna hit them both, bend the B, vibrato, and then this one is a good one for the fingers. It's similar to the last one. There are some similarities. 14E, we're gonna upstroke, hammer 17 with the middle finger, pull off back to 14, and then 17B with the middle, that's a downstroke. So up, hammer, pull, down. And just repeat that, but we're going to go to the 19th fret with our pinky for our hammer-on note. Everything else is the same. So you have, and that's going to go 4 times. Now same principle applies, you know, we're playing that upper string, right, for one note. We don't want to pull off and hear a note. So now we should be feeling underneath the B string. So that's 4 times. And then I wanted to end it with this. We'll do some double stops. 14 G and B, which Vivian would do this type of thing a lot. So we'll grab the 14 GB. I like to anchor with the thumb, bend it. And then 16, 14. I put pinch harmonics on all these. 16, 14 D. And then 16, 15, 14, 12 vibrato. Okay, so we have. Okay, smell something kind of burning. But that's not the case. Okay, so that's it for that one. That's number 2. We're going to move on to number 3. One quick second. Okay. I just could swear I'm smelling smoke, man. You can never be too safe. Number 3 is in E minor, and I wanted to give you some of Vivian in the Dio years, some of the rhythmic stuff he did. And on this one, that type of concept, it's really cool, it's fun to play. This one I started with a kind of an intro riff, alternate picking and palm muting, 9, 10, 12 on the E and A, and then 9D, pinch harmonic slide. That's not critical, but 7, 9 AD, and Don't Talk to Strangers, he did this type of shuffle thing. 7, 9 AD, and then palm mute, down up on the root note of that, which is the 7th fret A string. Okay, and then from there goes 7, 10, and then on that part we're going to do the same thing off the root note, but 3 times. Okay, so and that's with the 7, 10. So we have. See what's happening there? Like your beat is with the chunks in there. And then end it with chord, palm mute the root down up, and then the chord. So it ends with, just to throw some spice in it. Start it over. So you'll do the 7, 10. You'll see the double dots times 3, and with a different ending. So, okay, 10, pull 9, D, and you can throw pinch harmonics kind of randomly. Vivian was kind of like that. Pull to the 9th fret, then we're going to go palm mute 12A and 10A, down up. Okay, so you have, and then go 9D down, palm mute the A string, and go up, down, up, 12, 10, 9. So your pattern is. So the whole thing. And then just start it over. You know, you can substitute the digga 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 with the first riff if you wanted. But anyways, that gives you a little idea of the progressive rhythmic side of Vivian, which also has some of the solo in it, solo concept. Okay, Don't Talk to Strangers at 251. I thought this would be a cool thing to show you, because this is kind of classic Vivian stuff here, right? So he would do like a... Except it would be cleaner than that. Okay, so on this, when you get this always kind of reminded me a little bit of Mr. Crowley, the Randy Rhoads type of thing, but you can experiment with fingering on this, but the concept is going to be double dotted. You're going to go 13, pull 10 on the E, then on the B you go 13, 10, 13, down, up, down, and then up on 10 E. That is going 4 times. So, and be aware of muting surrounding strings. There it is, that's how it should be. So, same concept, 13, pull 10 E, but now on the B string we're going to go 11, 10, 11, 10 on the E. So we're altering the tail end of the riff. So, now if you got that one, you'll get the next one. It's the same thing, but move it up a whole step to 15 and 12. So we have... And then the last one, we're going to do the same concept, but 17 pull to 13 on the high E, and then 15, 13, 15 B, and then up on the 13 E. So look at your shapes. You know, sometimes it helps to visually kind of see them like that. That's it for that one. That's number 4. Number 5, this is in D minor, and Vivian had this cool percussiveness to his playing, like that type of stuff. So I want to show you that. 10D hammer to 12, palm mute down up on the 12D. Okay, and then 10G pinch harmonic, that's our down. That's kind of the percussive beat of this. But this is going to be more in a 3-note concept. 12-12 palm mute, down up on the D again, and then 12G pinch harmonic. And it's a triplet, so it's down up down. Then shift fingers, index to 12D, same concept, palm mute down up, 14G pinch. So we have a, with our melody. And he did something like this in Don't Talk to Strangers as well. Moving on to page 4, same concept, 12-12, palm mute down up to 15G. Then again to the 14G. Again to the 17G, so it's a stretch. Lower that thumb. Then back to 12-12, 15. Vibrato, end it there. Number 6 is in D minor as well. At the end of Don't Talk to Strangers, he does this kind of cool pentatonic, like groove type thing. But I changed some of it. That's going to be that one. Actually, the ending is nothing like Don't Talk to Strangers, just kind of in the style of. So 10 GB, we're going to bend those, and then down, up, down, 12, 10, 12, D, vibrato. So repeat it, but go 12, 11, 10. vibrato at the end of that. So we have 15 on the high E. We're going to bend, release, bend, release, bend, rest, and then slowly bring it down. Okay, so okay, then 13E, pick, hammer 15, pull 13, slide to 12. Pinch harmonic 13, 12 on the B and the G. Slide to 10, slide to 9. So 10 on the D and the A, I put pinch harmonic for those. 8A, slide to 7. 8E, slide to 5, slide to 10. That way we're ending, you know, in our D minor area. So. And, you know, Vivian would do a lot of downstrokes, you know, and then throw in the pinch harmonic and just really